Love is a combination of care, commitment, trust, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. I must have read that definition a few times for it to sink in, and it alone made me rethink everything I thought I knew about love. This is one of the most powerful statements from Bell Hooks' transformative book, All About Love. Now, if you've ever struggled to understand love, what it truly is, how it shapes us, why relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, often leave us unfulfilled and wonder why we keep getting it wrong, then this book will change the way you see love forever. Get cozy with your favorite blanket, a cup of tea or coffee, and let this book unlock the secrets of love and transform your understanding of this profound concept. All About Love, New Visions isn't just a book. It's a guide, a mirror, a call to action, exploring love's transformative power and its potential to create social change. It's a pivotal book that promises to redefine how we perceive and enact love. Bell Hooks challenges conventional notions, urging us to see love as a verb requiring intention and action. I read this book a few years ago, and it's one of the books that changed me as a person and cleared up a lot of my beliefs that weren't serving me. You might be suffering from a few of them too, as our capitalist world has made love a commodity. You'll see shopping malls and most companies offering discounts during Valentine's Day period. I remember that I had taken over a week to read this book, which is a long time for me to read around 250 odd pages. In reality, I was savoring it. I was also aware that I needed time to deeply process each paragraph. The book is divided into 13 chapters, each closely investigating the nature of many different categories of love, such as familial love, romantic love, platonic love, and most importantly, self-love. By encouraging readers to part with traditional understandings about love, many of which, if you think about it, are rooted in patriarchal schools of thought, what Hooks does is she lays the foundation for readers to practice loving in a new and more effective ways. She elegantly examines her own search for emotional connection and society's failure to provide a model for learning to love. The way Hooks categorizes these chapters makes you stop and think about your childhood, your relationships, and even the way you treat yourself. I loved it when, right in the introduction chapter, Hooks destroys writers such as John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, and other writers who propagate the institutionalization of patriarchy by showing that yes, there are differences between men and women, but a lot of mindsets such as men can't cry and women are only emotional are learned characteristics and not innate or natural ones. What you'll also love in this book is that Hooks quotes other great writers and also shares her own life experiences. One line that made me cry was that she experienced care as a child but not love in her dysfunctional family. She then goes on to explain what dysfunctional families are, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Raising the cultural paradigm that the ideal love is infused with sex and desire, she provides a new path to love that is sacred, redemptive, and healing for the individuals and for her country. I think it will be healing for the bigger world too. Let me highlight a few chapters that really stood out to me. First, there's Clarity, Give, Love, Words. In this chapter, Hooks talks about how often we fail to define love clearly, which leads to misunderstandings and unmet expectations. It's one of the chapters that will open up your heart and mind. Right from the start, she dismantles the idea that love is just a fleeting emotion. It's a choice and a responsibility. She challenges the idea that love is about control or possession and instead emphasizes mutual respect, trust, and understanding. In this chapter, she also goes on to explain what love is not. Hooks explains that people often develop a harmful understanding of love based on interactions in their families of origin. For example, in some cases, children grow up experiencing verbal and physical abuse that's justified as love, while other children were raised in overly permissive households where they were allowed to do or get whatever they want as if that's an act of love. Hooks argues that both scenarios contribute to a skewed understanding of love rooted in dynamics of reward and punishment rather than a genuine commitment to another person's spiritual growth. Now, Hooks doesn't blame families for not expressing love in healthy ways. She understands that many caregivers have learned a distorted version of love from their own families. Now, to break the cycle of unhealthy love, she explains that we must learn and teach a new definition of love. Another powerful chapter is Honesty, Be True to Love. In this chapter, Hooks emphasizes the importance of honesty and vulnerability in building genuine connections. She argues that without honesty, love cannot truly flourish. Many of us are conditioned to tell small lies in relationships, whether to avoid conflict or to spare feelings. But Hooks argues that honesty, no matter how uncomfortable, is the foundation of genuine love. This chapter really made me reflect on the role of honesty in my own relationships and how crucial it is for fostering intimacy. I loved the sixth chapter, Values, Living by a Love Ethic. In the beginning of this chapter, she states that awakening to love can only happen when we let go of our obsession with power and domination. The beauty about knowing your love ethics is that it lets you live a richer and more fulfilled life. Then there's Greed, Simply Love. This chapter is a wake-up call. She writes, When greedy consumption is the order of the day, dehumanization becomes acceptable. People who are motivated by greed are not capable of practicing love. Wow! Hooks criticizes how capitalism and consumerism have corrupted our understanding of love, making us believe that love is something we can buy or earn. To resist the pull of capitalism and materialism, Hooks advocates living simply. Living simply and letting go of greedy instincts empowers individuals to connect with one another, and through connection, they can express care, respect, and love. The 10th chapter, Romance, Sweet Love, is a chapter where Hooks takes on Hollywood's version of love. She explains how we've been conditioned to expect love to be passionate, effortless, and eternal, when in reality, love takes work. True love is built on mutual respect, effort, and deep emotional connection, not just butterflies and grand gestures. Although Hooks wrote in an earlier chapter that we must first learn to love ourselves before we can effectively love others, she writes that self-love is no guarantee of a healthy relationship, particularly when it comes to romance. That was one of the sentences that made me pause and think. Community loving communion is a beautiful exploration of how love extends beyond romantic relationships. We all know how individualism in our capitalist world is increasing the sense of loneliness and depression at alarming rates. Hooks writes about the importance of building loving communities where we can support and uplift one another. She talks about finding your community. It can be your extended family, and stresses on the importance of genuine friendships. At the same time, she highlights the significance of forgiveness and me time so that you can connect with yourself. And healing, redemptive love chapter moved me. She begins the chapter by simply asserting, love heals. Let me read a few of my favorite lines out loud to you from this chapter. In learning to love, even in the face of woundedness, we can live as if we are born again, not forgetting the past, but seeing it in a new way. Learning to accept one's past, no matter how troubled, is where healing begins. One essential component to healing is forgiveness. While shame and resentment keep individuals from healing, compassion and forgiveness reconnect us. Commitment to healing is both an act of love and an act of hope. Love is not possible without hope. Hope is a type of a positive thinking, motivates individuals to move forward toward love, light, and possibility. These are just a few examples, but every chapter is packed with wisdom that will make you pause and reflect on your relationships, past and present ones, and get clarity for the future ones. Let's talk about the brilliant mind behind this book, Bell Hooks. Scholar, feminist, and social activist, was a revolutionary thinker who dedicated her life to exploring love, race, gender, and justice. Her work is radical because she doesn't just critique society, but she also offers solutions. The author of more than 3 dozen books, Hooks is known for her ability to blend academic theory with accessible language, bridging the gap between scholarly and popular audiences. Along with Toni Morrison and Maya Angelou, she's one of the greatest African American writers. So, why should you read this book? Because it will challenge you. It will make you uncomfortable at times and make you confront your own assumptions and biases. But most importantly, it will inspire you to love more deeply, not just others, but yourself as well. We live in a world that often makes love feel conditional based on status, appearance, achievements, or maybe a combination of them. But Hooks reminds us that real love is about seeing and accepting someone fully. It's about nurturing growth, choosing honesty, and being willing to do the work. If you've read all about love, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't, I hope this review inspires you to pick it up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more book reviews. And let's keep the conversation going about love, healing, and personal growth. And remember what Hooks wrote: love is an action, never simply a feeling. On that note, till we meet again, Aiena signing off, and may you love more consciously, more compassionately, and more unconditionally.